Well. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. New intros, new mics, new all sorts of things. And of course, want to wish you well on this beautiful start to this Tuesday morning over here from Talon to Stone. A nice and bright and sunny day, actually. Just finished my morning coffee, which I actually started drinking coffee for the last few days. Nicely done. Feels good, feels great. But overall, actually still going to probably be going off it for the more long term. Anyways, as always, want to be wishing you the best, the happiest. We got plenty to talk about with Bitcoin. As in the overnight session, very little happening, but with that going on, there are a few trade opportunities staring us right in the face. So with that said, let's teleportation into live scene initiated right here, right now. Let's see what Bitcoin has in all of its glory. Starting off with the daily, that was actually a 3-day right over there. And you know what? Actually, let's start off with the 3-day because we just got a new 3-day dildo tick. And with that said, let me just make sure that I'm actually recording. Okay, good. And mic's working. Okay, also good. Do you want those things to be happening when you're making videos? Anyways, we do see the golden cross on the 3-day dildo time frame getting ever so close. And this is pretty much inevitable as long as Bitcoin doesn't dump below about 7,000 within the next 3 days. We will get this cross, the green 55 exponential moving average and the purple 200 exponential moving average coming in right over here, converging on each other very rapidly. We have seen a confirmed cross of the green 50 and the cyan 89. So just another lower period trade above a higher period, telling about the overall trend strengthening to the upside, of course. But the next one, the good old golden cross, and to me, an exponential moving average golden cross on a higher time frame like this is quite powerful. The last time that we actually had a golden cross on this time frame was all the way back on over here in December 2015 when Bitcoin was around $300, $350, and that led Bitcoin all the way up from that price point all the way up to $20,000 price per Bitcoin, getting death crossed later on in 2018. But after that, all the damage was done, of course. So again, just telling us about the overall long-term trend, Bitcoin above all major moving averages on this time frame. More importantly, we spoke about how this white 200 moving average was a base, and that has been confirmed as Bitcoin has gotten more and more mature. As you do see, Bitcoin lost over here in 2014, 2015, regain it right over here, death times right over here, glory times right over here, and once again, death times right over here, and I'm going to imagine that we have some glory times ahead. Not only that, but 3-day dildo time frame is actually quite interesting right here and does seem to run a lot of price action. We do see 3-day Stokes crossing back up to the upside, so this was probably perhaps the most bearish thing for me that I was looking at, although to be very 100% clear, I am not bearish. I've been bullish, and I have been bullish for quite some time now, but they've actually crossed back up to the upside, so this is why I like to wait for them to actually come back down below the critical zone if I am going to take a signal like that. But of course, when we're talking about momentum oscillators, when we're talking about the good old mom oscillators, the chicken tennies oscillators, they are great for ranging price action, not for trending price action. And this is exactly what you would expect during trending price action. So looking at this, yes, I do think that we have some more continuation on the 3-day dildo time frame. Now, does that mean that lower time frames can't have a little bit of a pullback here and there? Of course they can. But looking at this, do think that Bitcoin has a little bit of upside here. Granted, this time frame just looks like continuation to me. 3-day Stokes back up. 3-day RSI is going to be building some divergence at some point in time, but of course that needs to be confirmed first. We need to set in a local high, and to set in a local high, well, first we need to confirm a local high, and that would, that's not happening. That's the soonest that could happen is maybe in 3 days. Like if we travel up, then slam back down and create some sort of a reversal-ish type dildo, maybe a doji, maybe a shooting star. But again, I just want to show that right now it's not. I'm actually getting a little bit more bullish based off this close yesterday. Not only that, and perhaps I shouldn't say this is my most bullish thing because eventually it's going to turn into a very bearish signal. But looking at our 3-day jewel right over here, the signal, the light blue oscillator, which is what I'm looking at to kind of gauge the next top of this run, is still completely flat. Even though it is in the critical zone, that's completely fine. I only care about it when it gets into this region right over here, outlined by these dotted red lines. That is where historically major massive tops have been called, and retracements to the tune of 30 to 40%, and in some cases more, called as well. So you do see, just back testing it right over here. We've been talking about this for quite some time. That's my next big sell signal, and right now we do see with the new tick on this, we've actually just flatlined. We're basically getting support of the pink right over here, as we spoke about about a month ago that this was likely to happen, and probably going to get walked up by it into this region, and that's going to set it up for the real sell. But here's the thing, is that when we're talking about a 3-day dildo time frame, each and every one of these ticks is 3 days worth of price action. So if we were to even go vertical on the light blue oscillator into this zone, it'd still take 2, maybe even 3 more ticks, which is going to be a week to a week and a half of price action implied to the upside. So again, and then you'd have to get a negative slope, so add on another tick, and that's it's going to take its time, is my point. And overall, this does offer up the opportunity that while I was saying that 94 to 9600 is kind of my next target for this move, I don't know if that's going to be enough to get this guy into this zone. So then let me separate my opinion from technical analysis right here. Now I'm talking about my opinion, not technical analysis. I would assume that actually, if we were to get into that zone, the light blue oscillator is not going to get into this area. It'd actually imply a little bit more upside. I mean, just keep in mind, we just rallied about $800, and the light blue went just straight up flat is what it did. It didn't go, I mean, we barely even went up on it, just maintaining this 83 to 8400, or sorry, 83 to 84 level on this oscillator. So to me, that is actually quite bullish and does open up the discussion for a move higher. Now, switching back on to technical analysis, not opinion related. Hey, my opinion doesn't fucking matter. What the next real signal that I have is when the light blue gets into this zone. No, no questions asked. Until then, I'm long and I'm comfortably long. And for full disclosure, I am still long on my streamer account right over here. Basically just holding my account balance long, as I've not been, I haven't really got out into this position just yet. I missed the spike down yesterday. I was going to bed. I went to bed quite early actually, but I'll be getting out relatively soon. I do have a few bids a little bit lower, and overall I'm happy to hold that position, just hold that account long as we're above 8400. 8400 is the magic number for me. As long as we maintain above 8400, I am happy. I'm comfortable being long for a little bit more of a trending trade. Even though things do feel a little bit more extended here, even though things do feel like we're kind of on the precipice of the edge of the FOMO rally, but don't underestimate the last gasp of a FOMO rally, because it always goes higher than you think, and it's designed, it's intended to get out all of the genius shorters who want to front run a signal like we're looking at on the 3-day jewel. So again, these sorts of things are very, very important from a long-term perspective, because that's exactly what it's designed for. And I see a lot of people trying to short every $100 up. It's the same thing as everyone trying to buy the bottom every $100 down, thinking that they're the genius who just called the bottom. Well, everyone's trying to call the top on this rally. All you've had to do for the last 3-4 months is just get long. I mean, that's exactly why I've been holding these positions. It's based off of long-term stuff, 39.30 and 51.50 on my streamer account, a little bit better on my main account. And of course, I should explain my main account. Yes, I am, my actual positions are long as well. It's not just my account balance, because, well, when we actually broke out, that was the account that I went into first when I woke up at fucking 2 a.m. for all the alarms and input on positions, and then I didn't really bother with my streamer account because I was like, fuck it, man, I want to sleep. Fuck this. But overall, I'm happy to rearrange that. And of course, it offers up that discussion. You don't need to be perfect. And a lot of the time, people always ask me, how do you play a breakout? Well, more often than not, I don't. I don't play a breakout unless if I just bought support and then it just so happened that we didn't have a retracement after that, and then it makes holding it easy. But that's why I'm always supporting resistance trader first and foremost. Just simplifies things, and you'll get those runs usually naturally. And then also of importance, as we just kind of spoke about, it does look to me like Bitcoin, probably has a little bit of down here. And if we do come back down to anywhere around 86, 8,500, I'd probably, I'm going to be uncovering those positions once again on my streamer account. I won't add any on my main account. I don't really see any need to, but I'll be holding long those positions as long as we're above 8,400 as well. Does that mean that I go short if we do break 8,400? Actually, there is some downside implied if we do break 8,400. I would be looking at a move towards 8,150. So what, $250 move? Not bad. But overall, still, I want to be remaining with the overall trend, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not bearish here. Based off the 3-day, I am bullish. So any sort of a pullback, I would imagine, does get bought if I had to give my opinion on that. And going over here on the 4-hour, it does look like we are kind of setting up for a little bit of a pullback. We do see 4-hour Stokes kind of snaking around, weakish. We do see 4-hour RSI, a little bit of bearish divergence as well between these two ticks right over here. And we do see that the that 4-hour historical volatility percentile is actually still kind of in a trending way. It's actually not too bad. It's completely fine, actually, in the way that I look at it. Going over here to the hourly, we do see historical volatility percentile dying down once again. So I am looking for this move to have a little bit of consolidation here as it dies down just a little bit more, and then I'll be looking for another pop. We do see hourly Stokes coming back down, which have been a damn good indication, although we do see a very obvious trend line forming here, right? So I would be looking for hourly Stokes to come back down to this region, and let's see if they get defended right around there and maintain this, as it does seem like that's an algo being defended right over there. So overall, looking at our lower time frames, the trading range is the exact same that we looked at last night. 8,700 support, 89.25 resistance. We could just actually adjust that a little bit further down, maybe like 89.10 if you want to get super exact. Overall, if we do break this guy to the downside, I would be looking at a move towards 86. And if we do break this guy to the upside, 8,900, then I would be looking for that move first and foremost to about 92, and then probably hits the overall measured move of this formation over here, which is still present and still valid, and that is all the way at about 95 to 9,600. So it's going to be constructive run, most likely going to take a little bit of time, but overall, I would still be leaning towards this target being met. It is also confluent with the volume profile right over here, which you do see is kind of like the edge of the higher value nodes. And more importantly, above this area, Bitcoin can rip again. So if Bitcoin could even just take out like 96, 9,700, that's where the glory times can really get started once again. As yes, we can go off of prior highs and talk about wicks in this area right here. 11,500 is going to be an area of interest. Then we got 12,500. Then we got 14,000. But overall, I mean, it'd be rip time once again. There's very low market acceptance in this region, and that means that price action can rip if we do get in that region. But of course, we're well and far away from that right here, right now. And in first things first, got to work our way through this area. But for right now, going back down to the lower time frames. Like I said, I am looking to be a buyer of a dip. If I want to bring up something else, which I pretty much never talk about, and it's something that I really don't put all that much weight on, but just another thing with the 3-day, I want to bring up the super guppy. Do we have this on trading view? Do we? Nope. Is it like this? Come on, guppy. Where you at, little guppy? Yeah, man. I'm not a huge fan of this thing, but it works. It's good enough. Where's a good one? Maybe we could do CM. This guy seemed to have some good indicators. Yeah, going over here to the 3-day, we have turned green on the super guppy, which historically speaking, is pretty strong indication. When we go red, we're red for a while. You can see over in 2014, 2015, turning red right over here, and turning green pretty much at the precipice of the beginning of the bull, of the bull market for the next 3 years. We turned red right over here in July 2018, and we've turned actually green once again just now. So we were neutral for a while, between about 5,000 and 8,000, and actually just as of yesterday's tick, we have turned green once again. So again, another long-term thing, kind of saying, hey, time to be a buyer of dips rather than timing tops. I mean, yeah, you can time the tops. It looks sexy. It looks great. But being short is great for a bear market, not for a bull market. Make it easy for yourself. I know it's not sexy. I know it's, in some ways it kind of even feels like you're being lazy. But understand this, man. As a trader, your job is to make money. Your job isn't to trade. Your job is to make money. And I feel like we as human beings, and especially us in the Western world, we're conditioned to feel like if we're not actively working, we're not doing our job. And if we're not doing our job, then we're lazy and we don't deserve it. And you feel like this, this cognitive dissonance where you're looking at your computer all day and it's just like, all right, well, if I'm not doing something, then I'm fucking lazy and I should kill myself, and I get it, and I get an F grade or something like that. Well, trading is one of the few professions where it's more important to know when not to do something, and more importantly than that, there is no grade other than your account P&L, and that's what I've really been attempting to show for the past 4 months. That hey, yes, did I catch the actual bottom at 3,100? Nope, but I did catch 3,900 just based off technical analysis, and then just been holding ever since. I mean, that's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. If you let it be, and that's it's completely find a way to make a living. If you want to scalp the lower time frames, that's great. I think Forex is still maybe Bitcoin's actually okay for that right now. But the bulk of my account is just stuck, it's just in these, is more in these long-term positions as the trend has, confirmed a change as far as I'm concerned. So we do have, obviously, as the monthly comes to a close, the monthly is, good morning, Elsa. The monthly is making a higher high, confirmed for the first time in well over a year and a half over this hump right over here. The next close, as long as it's above about 7,800, 7,700, we will have, both a dildo body and a wick confirmed. Although for me, this is good enough. At some point, we will come back down and set a higher low, but just about every time frame now is in an uptrend. I'd be comfortable saying that it's unlikely that we make a higher high and then make a lower low. I mean, has it happened before in the history? Yes, it has. Pretty rare. Does happen, but I'm not leaning towards it happening right over here. Monthly, very, very powerful. We do see monthly Stokes well up and erect. We do see monthly RSI, which is a little bit more important to me, getting above the exponential. So the next big buying opportunity from my actual account value, so get out the sleep out of my eye, is this oscillator, this RSI, coming back down and testing the exponential. I want to see it cradle the exponential, or sorry, I want to see the exponential cradle it, and that'd probably be my next big buy. As you see right over here, we take it over right over here. It gives you a chance to buy a couple months later in January on this pullback, and beautifully done, timing the momentum once again. And I do want to talk about this as well, although it's not as important as it was a couple months ago, because we were still figuring out, is this rally to be trusted? I would imagine that the accumulation distribution indicator is going to have a positive slope. I only care about slope on this indicator. I imagine the next tick is going to be up, but that was another reason why we were bullish this month and looking for continuation. Again, did I think that this this month was going to be this much up, 70 or 80% or whatever it is? I mean, no, I don't know that, but that's why I trust the exponentials. As soon as we took out the 21 exponential moving average right over here, the yellow moving average right there, I'm bullish, man, and that's why I use these things. They keep you in the trade. So yeah, all higher time frames looking fine to me. Lower time frames, coming back and forth, probably do have a little bit of a pullback here. But like I said, as long as Bitcoin remains above the magic number of 8,400, I think that this pullback is to be bought, and we do work our way into the 9,000s relatively soon. Volume on this rally is fading. That is a concern. Don't get me wrong. We have seen increasing volume going all the way up from February to our current high, or sorry, basically our current highs in mid-May. But ever since then, volume has been increasing. So I do think that overall this rally is coming under a little bit of pressure, but again, that doesn't mean that we can't have another $500,000 up from here. Like I said, do not underestimate the last gasp of a of a FOMO rally. We do see 12-hour looking constructive, kind of flagging out right here. I know a lot of people are going to call this a shooting star. Technically it is, but no follow through means it's another example of what we've been seeing for the past 4 months, is these very aggressive moves to the downside, then no follow through, and the wicks just rise. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. So I'd even feel comfortable saying that's as long as we hold this low at 8650, I'd even be a little bit more aggressive than what I was saying on the lower time frames. Looking at the 10-hour, it does look to me like kind of wants to come down, though, to be fair. We do see all medium to higher time frames oscillators coming down. We do see 10-hour is still up, although they don't like to stay in this area for too long. 12-hour still up, but looking a little bit weaker. 8-hour actually still up. Okay, so completely wrong about that. It's only the lower time frames which are currently down right now. There's 6-hour down, and I'm going to guess that everything else is down. Yeah, 4-hour down, 3-hour down, 2-hour all the way down, and hourly down as well. So yeah, any sort of a pullback I would be looking for in the lower time frames, and tentatively speaking, 8600 would be. I don't want to see things go below 8,600. If they do go below 8,600, then yes, I do think that we have a full-on test of 84 in the making. But again, I'm actually not leaning towards that happening. I would say that if Bitcoin even got back down to 8,400, that'd probably be bad. From the higher time frame perspective, but technically speaking, if you're going off technical analysis, not until we actually break 84 where the floodgates are open once again, and you do see that Bitcoin's more or less just flagging out here. It's looking a little bit droopy, looking a little bit weaker, but it's okay. This is just sloppy cryptocurrency charts is what they typically do. I forgot to check on the daily. Daily, again, as long as we don't take out yesterday's low, it's probably more or less fine. Daily Stoic still up and erect and actually gaining momentum here, and we do see daily RSI again going to be building divergence, but not yet, not until we actually confirm a local high. And we do see daily Jewel. It's going to look like this is going to be lining up for a sell, but I would not take this signal. We are seeing way too of an aggressive move up by the light blue. Whenever I see something like that, typically it does actually imply bullish momentum is going to overtake the bearish pressure, which is what I think is likely to happen here as we do get another leg up. What else do we have to look at? Today again just looks like continuation to me. 2-day Stoics back up. We do have this same trend line being respected. So I would watch this trend line right here. If this does get destroyed, then yes, that's when that's going to be another big indication for the next big pullback. Like I said, to the tune of like 30 to 40%, which I actually forgot to explain why exactly I think that. But overall, this time frame is bullish. We do have 2-day dildo golden cross confirmed. We're above all major moving averages. Last time we had this was pretty similar to the 3-day back on over here in 2015, leading it all the way up in over here and getting a death cross in late 2018 right over here, and now a golden cross once again. So
any sort of a any sort of a pullback, we do now have a massive base right around the 8,000 level, which is going to be synonymous with what's it called, CMEs over here, which do have a nice gap right around 8,200. So any sort of a move back down into this region actually would look to be a buyer for, at the very least, a scalp bounce. A scalp bounce is what I'm trying to say. Jesus Christ, man. And then we have another gap down around here at 7,200. So at some point in time, these areas will come into play. But with a massive leg up like this to the tune of like 669, I think that it's likely to happen later rather than sooner. For as far as that's concerned, the bigger the gap up does imply the more time spent away from it. Okay, so let's see where GBTC closed. Yes, or actually, let's look at weekly for this. Yeah, the weekly for CMEs is so bizarre, but hey, fair enough. It's working, still making new highs. The weekly for spot is actually working better right here. We do see the top 200 band still being respected, and in fact, look at this. If Bitcoin does come back down, I would be looking for a move to the top of the 200 band right at 8,500, and I would be looking for support there. So 8,500 would tentatively be a decent, a decent area as far as I'm concerned. By the way, we do see weekly moving averages switch over to a bullish posture as well. Just kind of, again, more of a technicality. And yes, we can get a wick below this area, but it's not until we actually close the top, this weekly doodle below the top 200 band where I'd be comfortable calling a top to this rally. And this one's been getting the action pretty damn well. Just like trending to the downside right over here, got it very well. Just like trending up over here, got it very well. Well, I'd go with it until it tells you otherwise at the current moment in time. Okay, cool. Okay, we spoke about all of that. Let's go talk about some other top shitcoins. How about Mr. Buterol? Mr. Buterol looking... Yeah, man, he had a nice little run yesterday all the way to 280.5. But I do still think that this one does have some upside here. We do see daily Stokes, plenty of room to go, and looking strong to me. Do see daily RSI quite constructive, and I do think that this one does want to work higher as well. The only way that I'd say that this rally attempt gets faded is if we actually take out the low of yesterday's daily dildo at 264.40 on Finex. If that would happen, I'd be looking for a move very quickly down to 256 and probably further down to about 245 over time. But again, I'm not leaning towards that happening. I do think that it gets picked up here and we do march higher. Yeah, 4 hour. Yeah. Mr. Buterol did he make new highs with the rest of the market? Actually, yes, he did. He did, but certainly on the weaker side. Lower time frames, perhaps a dip. I fucking hate that word, dip. Perhaps a little bit of a comeback. Perhaps is maybe the better word to. No, you know what? I'm going to hold off on talking about lower timeframes on this. I'm not too confident on that. What I'm confident on is this being a constructive formation, which is bullish, and I do think that it breaks to the upside. I'm not confident in the lower timeframes here. I would say that higher, upper targets, areas of interest are going to be $300. Oops, got this right over here. About $300 right here. And then 330 to the upside right over here, and then 360 if you're talking about more long term. Golden cross above all major moving averages. I don't think it's relevant to make it any more complicated than that. As long as we maintain once again this 264 low, this 264 wick right here, I am more immediately bullish, and I do think that those targets get hit sooner rather than later. Talking about Mrs. Litecoin, what's she doing? What's this beautiful bitch up to? Pretty much hitting our next target right around 125. I said 125 yesterday. We got up to 122. Close enough is close enough. While I do think that this one does try a little bit higher, actually, it is one of the stronger ones, I would say. Weekly looking a little bit under pressure here, but yeah, I do think I do think that it probably picks itself up somewhere around the 109 to 110ish region, and then tries again with the rest of the market. But overall, what I can say about Mrs. Litecoin is that, hey, if 109 breaks to the downside, I would be looking for a much more sizable retracement down into, below 100 once again, about 97.5 most likely. But for right now, it looks fine to me. Going to go with the rest of the market most likely. As always, whenever we're talking about it, altcoins and shit, easier to look at Bitcoin and then just extrapolate for, whatever altcoin, nameless altcoin here. Litecoin, not necessarily the most nameless altcoin of all time, pretty prominent and one of the leaders as well. Very relatively strong is also what I'd say. So I don't want to discount that. I feel like sometimes when I'm just talking shit, people can take that a little bit offensively, and it's really not intended to be. It's just an easy way for me to get information out quick. But overall, is Litecoin a shitcoin? No, probably not a shitcoin. So there you go. Hopefully that satisfies all the Litecoin gang. But yeah, do you think that this one probably does try higher with the rest of the markets, and an example of one of the stronger ones for sure. Looking at the 2-day is coming under pressure here. Do we close this one tonight? We do, yes. So this is a consideration. If Litecoin does close this 2-day dildo here or lower, I would actually be willing to call a top of this rally, just because we pretty much did hit the target. I mean, 125 is close enough. And I'd be looking for a retracement down to about $97, but needs to first confirm that close and then get continuation. So we'll reassess that. As far as the 3-day goes, looks fine to me. Looks fine to me, actually. Okay, what else we got, baby? What else we got? Cardano versus the Bitcoins over here. Again, it's a sloppy chart. It's an ugly chart, but I do think that it is putting in a low here. I know it doesn't look too good, but this just seems to be the way that a lot of these altcoins bottom. And in this one, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm not a fan of this chart right here. It does look like continuation. If I was looking at any other market, I would say that it's likely to be a continuation. But this is cryptocurrencies we're talking about, and to me, this is technically a higher low. And we probably do work our way up towards 1150 to 1200 relatively soon, and then higher over time most likely. I do believe that this is going to be a strong local low over in this area. Going over to the only way that I get bearish on it is if it went back down below like 980. Which I'm not really leaning towards it. BNB over here, BNB looking to me like it wants to set up another rally attempt. Again, I am saying, I do think that this rally is losing some steam here, but I think that it has one more attempt most likely. Weekly still closing strong, still looking damn good. And I would say, based off the lower time frames, probably another try towards $38 ish area. As long as it maintains about $32.50, I think that it's overall good. If we do lose $32.50, and yes, I would be looking for some more significant downside back below $30. But for right now, I'm not leaning towards that happening. We do see 4-hour stocks actually falling down. What about daily? Yeah, daily looking a little bit droopy as well. So I would be careful with it, but again, I do kind of lean towards a little bit more continuation here before anything else. So yeah. Zcash, what's Zcash doing? Powerful move, joining the rest of the market, and there we go. And this is what I feel like we're going to see on a lot of alts. Hidden, or do I have my drawing tools up over here? Yeah, hitting our target right here, actually overshooting it by like $1. Hey, not bad. Not bad. I think my target was 86.5, and we got up to 89. Hey, not bad. Close enough is close enough. And I do think that this one does ultimately go further. We have a very natural horizontal right here based off of this prior high. And I do think that this one, as soon as we break $89.50, I'd be looking for the next area to be hit somewhere in this region here. Somewhere around about $100 even, nice round number, psychological number, and I do lean to the upside here. Bcash, what's Bcash doing? Again, a little bit sluggish, but an example of one of the stronger ones. Golden cross above all major moving averages, and did confirm above this horizontal yesterday around 420. So I do think that this one does make another reach for $500. Although we did kind of already hit that move, to be fair. Yeah, this one's a little bit more difficult, a little bit more sloppy. But, again, the rest of the market's looking okay, so I would say that this one probably does get another shot at $500. Areas of interest here are going to be 500 and then 580. Tron again, looking pretty damn good. This is actually exactly what you want to see. This is a bottoming formation, which was confirmed last week, and now we're likely to just get continuation overall. Any sort of a pullback back down to low 30, or sorry, not 30 cent, but 3 cent, likely to be bought in my opinion. I'd only get bearish on this thing if we broke back down below 3 cent and closed it daily below there. Again, I'm not leaning towards that happening. I do think that the upside is more likely here. Areas of interest going to be around 4 cents. Neo, what's Neo doing? A little bit on the weaker side, still isn't broken above the purple 200 exponential moving average, but probably does. Again, the rest of the market's doing it. So why not Neo? And areas of interest for this one would be somewhere around $15 if that does break. EOS, an example of the strong. Hey, hit our $8 and 20 cent target. Not bad. Fucking nicely done, Mr. EOS. One of the more easy charts to read, I would say. Been playing very, 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 very nicely on this one, and hey, I don't trade this one, but if you have been trading it, well, congratulations. This has been certainly one of the better ones. But again, volume kind of dying off on this rally. I would be a little bit cognizant of that. I would be looking for a pullback off this target, yes, but based off the weekly, still looking fine to me. go down to a lower time frame. Yeah, 4 hour probably wants to pull back down to $7.50 region, and then we'll see a little bit of a bounce there and reassess later. But I do think that this one probably reaccumulates and gives another try over time. Let's see what else we got. Mr. Ripples, how you doing? Constructive above major moving averages. Again, I do think that we're pretty much extremely likely to get the golden cross on the green 55 and the purple 200. I do think that this one, again, targets about 46 cents and then 51.5, 52 cents somewhere over here. Higher time frames looking fine. I do think that this one is going to hit that 51.5 cent, 52 cent target. And this is, again, a kind of a bottoming information, very ugly, very sloppy, but that's just the way that we trade them. So I know it didn't look good last week, but that's why I was saying buy down around this region, or it would be a buy. Of course, it's not financial advice, but not a financial advisor, but looking like, just looking like typical crypto shit to me. Let's see what else we got, man. Monero, definitely one of the stronger ones as well, hitting our $100 target pretty damn well, and I do think that this one does actually overtake this area at 100 and makes its way towards 115 over time. We do have the golden cross above all major moving averages, looks fine to me, and I do think that we get that next leg, again, taking us into this region over here. What else we got? Stellar Rumens, 13.5. Again, sloppy chart, probably does work its way towards 15.25. A little bit, certainly on the weaker side, especially compared to Ripples. From a longer term time frame perspective, as long as we're above 12.5 cent, 12.25, you got to go with the upside, but definitely on the weaker side. And again, if I'm giving my opinion, I do think that it makes its way towards 15.25. Traditional markets weren't open last night, so not really anything to talk about there. So I think that's going to do it for now. Jesus Christ, man, that was a fast one. Lightning quick, baby. Lightning fucking quick. Let's get back on over to Bitcoin and wrap this bitch up. And lower time frames, again, looking for a pullback here. Probably coming back down, testing this 8,700 support. If 8,700 does get broken, the next level that I'm looking towards is actually just $100 down, about 86. So not too much opportunities in this, in this range to the downside, in my opinion. Again, based off the higher time frames, I'm looking for continuation first and foremost. Going off the 2 day. 2 day is the only one that looks a little bit like we might be topping. But again, I gotta wait until it's closed. So for right now, it's too early to judge it. 3 day looks like continuation to me, and that's what I put more weight on. Daily looks okay. It's not not spectacular, but not bad. Again, any sort of a pullback down to 87, 86, I think is fine. If 86 does break, then I would be looking for a full-on move down to about 84. 85, but again, I'm generally bullish as long as we maintain above 8,400. If 8,400 does get lost, then yes, I am looking for a move, another couple hundred, $300 down, maybe something like that, down to 8,100. And then we'll reassess from there. That would probably imply some more nastier things going on. Again, not leaning towards that happening, but if 8,400 does get broken, then yes, this rally will come under, this rally will start to take on a little bit more of a significant bearish meaning immediately. But for right now, still okay, and still looking at the 3 day jewel, which is still suggesting that's got a little bit more to go. So again, that's going to do it for right now. I'll be back on later with some more live stream action. Looking forward to seeing you there. If not, I do want to wish you a very nice and restful and peaceful Tuesday. Take care and see you soon.